Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. My name is actually Jean Barroca. I'm from Portugal. I was born in Venezuela, so it's two of us from Venezuela here. But I must confess I'm used to people confusing my names. Sometimes I appeared in a newspaper as Jackie Barroca. Some other times they got my name correctly, but they said I was from Mexico City, and they forgot to say that I wasn't, in fact, from Portugal. So I'm here to talk about Maputo and about the project we're implementing there about crowdsourcing waste solutions. As you all know, Maputo is the capital of Mozambique. It's a city with 1 million inhabitants that has been growing increasingly. Sorry, this is passing the slides, it shouldn't. I'm on the first slide, let's go back to it. The problem is that, can you fix this? Sorry. Because the slide I got here is not the slide I get there. So let's, no. Beginning, first one. Great. Thank you. Coming back. I hope this time doesn't count. I'm talking about Maputo. Maputo, the capital of Mozambique. Maputo has 1 million inhabitants, and it's a city that has been growing a lot over the last years. With all this growth, what happens in Maputo is that all the people that are moving are creating a strong pressure, not on the urban area, but on the peri-urban area. And the peri-urban areas, as you know, they are mostly self-constructed areas with high density, urbanic growth, where you see that there are no public services, very little infrastructure, and huge socio-economical problems that most of the times create huge risks in terms of floods, of public health. And as you can see by this picture, it's very difficult to understand when you're working in such a context, how are you going to apply ICT solutions in order to change the life of these kids, that they don't even know that what they are doing is extremely wrong and bad for their health, but they seem happy, right? So Maputo has one huge problem, and one among all the problems that they have, this is the main problem that they have, which is the fact that they have lots of waste. This is the Ulene waste dump, and as you can see by this picture, there is no space left in the city to put all the waste that they have. But most of all, not only the Ulene waste dump, also in the city, they have huge problems in collecting the waste and making it go to the waste dump. So this is one waste container that they have in the urban area. Even being the urban area, which is more or less organized, you can see that it's completely full. But then, on the peri-urban areas, what they created in Maputo was this system that they call chovas, that go from door to door into the smaller streets of the peri-urban areas in order to collect the waste. And this creates lots of problems. Sometimes these people go to the waste container where they should put the things, and the waste container is full and they cannot collect the waste. And when they don't collect the waste, they create huge problems. So we started working with these guys who work with those chovas into understanding what was the real context, which problems did they identify in this topic of waste management, and which solutions did they think that we could try to organize. And we found out that during the first mission that they had lots of information, but the information was very badly organized. And each one of these stakeholders had found a different solution for the same problem. So some of them they called the mayor, some of them they called another person, some of them they called the waste collection company, and we decided we needed to help them in order to understand how they could better solve the problems of waste management in Maputo. This is a lady working for one of the NGOs we're working with, which is called Livaningo. Livaningo is an environmental activism association, and we put all these stakeholders together into co-designing and co-creating a solution. So basically what we did with these people was to ask them what kind of problems could happen, how they thought they could solve them, and who they should think they should be involved. So we designed Nchuva. Nchuva is, it means mancala in the local language in Maputo. You say that, you know that mancala is this game where you move the pieces? And the idea is that people move the pieces in order to solve the problems. And what we did with Nchuva was that we managed to understand if we could create a platform that could collect information through different means. This is, for example, one of the prototypes we did, asking people if they could send us SMS about a problem in the city. Because we thought that we should not only get information through smartphones, but also through SMS and even voice. Because when we worked with these guys, and we asked them to send an SMS to our very fancy platform that we had created, truth is that they didn't know how to send a text message. So if they don't know how to send a text message, why do you think that you're going to solve the problem by using text messages? So we involved several stakeholders in order to create our platform. We worked with VoIP Drupal, which is a project from MIT Civic Media, and we worked as well with Marcus Spot, which is an Open 311 server, and we worked with CTSDK, an European project that is working in open data, because we thought that we could develop this, and we did it in half a year. This is a platform that collects information and also generates data for all the local stakeholders for them to better apply solutions for their problems. We are now going to test this platform, but what we want to do with this service is basically to change the principles of how social accountability works in Maputo. That's why we gathered together all the stakeholders and we asked them to tell us what principles we should have in such a platform. And as you can see here, it says honesty, it says transparency, it says respect for diversity. And at the same time, we thought that all the great ideas couldn't come only from us, so we involved local stakeholders. This is a hackathon that happened in Chamanculo, one of the neighborhoods. It has been developed by Alto University, and we collaborated with them presenting our project. And we had local university students, like these ones, learning how to program in Open 311 and how to create applications to solve problems. So basically what we see here, this is not fair because we weren't working at the beginning.